I am so tired of veteran divers spouting treasonous garbage, such as the TD-220 Bastion, being made of paper, just to get scared rookies to look their way. Just because Command handed someone a frequency does not mean they get to lie to the boots on the ground for attention. They blame the equipment, the stratagems, whatever they need to so they can draw some focus. But down here, the truth is clear. There are plenty of real issues, but the Bastion tank isn't one of them. In fact, the Bastion is a tremendous asset. It is a masterpiece of Liberty Forged defiance, with 8,000 hit points that can eat over 30 of the Vox engine's Icarus missiles before the chassis falls. By the way, those missiles are specifically high explosive anti-tank, and the tank being able to take that many anti-tank hits before going boom sounds heavily armored enough to me. You want the truth? The tank is not the problem. Its crew is the true liability. If your armor is quickly turning into a pile of scrap, it's not because Super Earth Engineering gave you a flimsy toy. It's because you decided that a mobile weapons platform needed to get in front of every shot coming its way. Or maybe you just fell asleep at the controls. Yeah, it's a tank. But since when a tank's meant to sit in the open and get hit from every direction, you still have to keep your treads moving and actually communicate with your crew. Today, you're here with Private Spruckus, and I'm cutting through the exaggerations to show you how to actually operate this asset, work together as a real crew, and implement the Iron Phalanx. That way, when we eventually return to Cyberstan, we won't have to spend the lives of another 440 million divers. May Liberty speed their souls. First off, let's see what this thing's packing. With the Bastion, you've got a two-man, dual-tread weapons platform, with the main cannon delivering 3,500 damage per shot. Raw damage means nothing if the shot can't penetrate. Good news is that someone in High Command must have filed his tank's CO1 permit, because it has no issues with penetration. The cannon sports anti-tank class 4 level penetration. It punches through anything the bots could throw at us. Hulks, one shot. Factory Striders take 2 to the face. These pain in the ass Vox engines, 3 shells to crack them open. The catch here is that you have to manually reload after each shell is fired. Don't get caught out with an empty barrel. The tank is also fitted with the coaxial heavy machine gun mounted above the main cannon. It aims where the main cannon aims and can tear through a Hulk's faceplate and anything less armored with ease. We're focusing on bots today, so you lot will be ready when we return to their home. Don't make the mistake of thinking this tank is just a bot killer though. It tears to the other factions just as easily. A Biotitan's head, deleted. An Illuminate mothership, grounded. Just aim for the glowy blue hole. 3,500 damage with this kind of penetration is a universal language that all of our enemies can't help but to understand. In order to mount a gun this heavy, High Command had to make a trade-off. Notice the profile? Low, angle, and turretless. This is a Casemate design. You aren't driving a tank with a gun on top. You're driving a massive gun with an engine and treads attached. Since the cannon is fixed to the hull, you have a limited firing angle. To properly aim and operate the weapon, you need a driver and a gunner. Knowing this limitation changes everything about how you drive. As the driver, you don't just steer the tank, you aim it. This creates 2 rules you have to follow if you want to survive. Rule 1, the neutral turn. Because the driver controls the cannon's facing and the gunner controls its precision, you both need to work together to get the cannon pointed to the right zip code. The Bastion has a wide turn radius, so trying to turn by driving back and forth, like your grandma does back on Super Earth, will eventually get you a good angle. Be aware that the bots won't just give you a super ticket for your poor driving, and they won't wait for you to finish aiming. They'll just kill you. Use the neutral turn. Stop the tracks completely and pivot in place. This changes your turning radius from massive to 0. It gives you the ability to respond to threats quickly, and gives the gunner a stable platform to hit those voxes from across the city. Stop, pivot, kill. Rule 2, the reverse travel technique. In a normal tank, you can drive one way and shoot the other. In a Casemate tank such as the Bastion, you can't. If you turn your back to relocate, your main gun points away from the active enemy, not at them. And worse, your rear armor is flat. Flat armor is easy to hit. It catches rockets and anything else in your direction. This means that if you need to leave an active engagement while enemies are incoming, do not turn around. Put it in reverse. Driver, look around, check your map. Ensure you aren't backing into a minefield or a pit. Then, floor it backwards. Gunner, punish our enemies for daring to chase you. You turn to kill. You reverse to live. Don't be afraid to drive over anything smaller than a Hulk. And don't be afraid to shift to first gear for a tighter turn while driving. Memorize that. And drivers, get good at driving reverse. Before we get to the kill list, verify your Super Destroyer's connection. Like the transmission to confirm signal clarity, and subscribe to sync your Super Destroyer so you receive future broadcasts. If High Command thinks I'm just talking to myself, they'll revoke my tank permit and make me have to walk again. Don't make me have to walk. Good. Now let's talk about what to shoot. Priority 1, the tank killers. These units often have a low profile, but can still do serious damage if left unattended. There are bigger threats, but these things get taken out in a single shell, so they die first. The cannon turret, the silent killer on the towers. Keep an eye out, and don't let him spot you first. They do almost 20% of the Bastion's max health per hit. Not something to take lightly. Tanks and Wall Striders. Don't wait for any of them to see you first, and know that you have the bigger gun. Between the Wall Strider's grenade barrage or the Annihilator tank's main cannon, the damage taken to ammo conservation ratio is typically not in our favor. Put a shell directly into them. One shot, done. With the highest durability out of the bunch, the Wall Strider has exactly 3,500 health, and your cannon does exactly 3,500 damage. Be generous. Don't make the Wall Strider wait to experience managed democracy firsthand. Gunships, if you can hit him. Use terrain to get an upward angle if possible, but take these things out quick. Even a single gunship can cause you trouble if you let it fire its missiles into the tank's flank. Priority 2, the Apex Predators. The Factory Strider. With the Bastion, we don't need to be precise. Step 1, disarm the top cannon. Break it immediately so it can't fire back. Its cannon is the Bastion's biggest threat. Step 2, 3 shots to the body or 2 to the face. Only 1 to the foot if you can get an angle. It goes down quick. The Vox engine. If you hear cyborg propaganda screaming through the streets, the Vox engine is coming. The thing is loaded to the teeth with firepower. Bad news for it. With our tank, we have even more firepower. 3 main cannon shots to its torso are all you need. Its laser repeaters and miniguns will do some damage to the tank, but the biggest threat it poses to your Bastion are its missiles. The Vox fires several missiles into the sky to rain down on your position. The impact shown with bright circles on the ground. Driver, stay mobile and try to avoid them to the best of your ability while giving your gunner a clear shot. A single Vox shouldn't be a problem at all, but their firepower will still wear you down if they're not handled quickly. Priority 3, pretty much anything else. Rocketeers and Rocket Devastators. Not a huge threat on their own, but their rockets will take down your durability faster than standard bolt weaponry. Don't waste cannon shots on these. Your HMG will be sufficient. Fabricators. You can shoot a fabricator anywhere and it'll collapse. For heavy fabricators, aim for the openings to conserve ammo. If you don't, it'll take 2 shots. You can clear an outpost from 200 meters away if you have sight. I'd still recommend having someone else deal with them for even greater ammo conservation. But it'll certainly work if necessary. Dropships? No precision needed. Hit the thing once, anywhere, and it's done. Detector tower, gunship fabricator, stratagem jammer. These are a no-go. Tank can't destroy them. Still wanted to mention here so you know not to waste ammo. Have your spotter infantry deploy and handle them while you cover. Speaking of spotter infantry, let's get on about your crew. You now know what to kill and how to kill it. I know that I've made it clear by now that you can't effectively use a Bastion by yourself, and that it requires teamwork and coordination. Crazy concept for some of you out there, but if you don't like the thought, get over it. A solo tank is a dead tank. You need a crew. The driver. You have the commander's view. You see the entire battlefield. Your job is to navigate, position, and feed targets to the gunner. Get to a good location, put targets in the gunner's sight, and let your gunner work. Reposition is needed to avoid fire. Take cover, and give your gunner good firing lines. Can't do much of anything with the tank if it's blown up. More to come about additional strategy to keep it alive. The gunner. You're the executioner. Remember the rhythm. Reload after every main cannon shot. The coax HMG stays live, so there's no need to stop firing it. Use the coax to tear through anything with less than tank armor and keep those bolts suppressed. Don't give them a moment where they're not being shot at. The spotters. Seats 3 and 4 accessible from the top hatches. Are you mandatory? No. Are you valuable? Tremendously. You're protected from the waist down by heavy plating while aiming, and the hull gives you a stable firing platform. Your job is to cover the tank's weaknesses and provide stratagem support. Weakness 1, the flanks. The main gun faces forward. You watch the sides and pick up targets that the cannon or coax can't reach, or don't need to waste their time on. Keep bazookas off the treads, take out the rocketeer on the wall. You get the drill. Mark the heavy targets through the dust so the driver and gunner know exactly where to prioritize their fire, as the gunner can't always see everything through the casemate viewport. Weakness 2, the sky. The tank struggles to look up. If gunships show up, that is your problem to handle. Bring a wasp, a laser cannon, I don't care what. Just make sure you get those gunships out of the sky. Their missile barrages will tear up the tank. Take this to heart as a passenger. You can throw stratagems from the tank by aiming out first, then putting in a stratagem code. That means you can reinforce, drop a shield, call in an orbital, all from the comfort of the cold, hard metal interior of our Bastion. The Bastion has 3 other seats besides your own. Make sure they're filled with your crew. Send this briefing to 3 other divers you want in your tank crew. If they haven't studied the manual, they aren't crew, they're cargo. Before you even drop, know that a few loadout tweaks can maximize your tank's lethality. Stratagem selection. Driver brings a Bastion, gunner brings a Bastion. When the first tank explodes or runs completely out of ammo, and with everything coming at you, it eventually will, you call in the second one when you have the space. You keep the pressure on. Driver and gunner also won't be helping out too often, so bring a hard-hit stratagem with a higher cooldown to offset that fact. Bring the shield generator relay. They are your frontline insurance policy. I know some of you would rather bring another orbital, but we can stem, the tank cannot. You have 8,000 hit points of democracy-powered armor. Do not let the bots chip away at it before the real fight even starts. Bolt drop incoming? Set up position and drop a shield. Hold in a replacement tank? Drop a shield where it's gonna land. If you can get the tank between 2 overlapping shields, even better. A single shield relay will soak up 4,000 damage. That's 4,000 damage that never touches your hull, keeping your heavy armor pristine. But when a factory strider or Vox engine rounds the corner, Even if you're the best driver in the universe, sometimes you just can't get out the way quick enough. Especially with things like the barrage tanks or the Vox's missile salvo. Get your tank into position, hop out, and drop a shield for whatever threat is coming, then hop back in. These shields will handle those issues and let you maintain your position for your gunner to lay down fire. One fully crewed tank is a bunker. 2 tanks are a wall. If you have a full squad of like-minded tank divers, then you have the option of running the Iron Phalanx. 2 Bastions, 4 divers. Tactic 1, the leapfrog. Tank Alpha takes point. Tank Bravo follows at a distance and covers the flanks. Once Alpha has taken a beating, the tanks swap positions. Bravo pushes past them to take the lead. You create a column of 3,500 damage shells and non-stop HMG fire. The enemy never gets a break. Tactic 2, the line. Roll out side by side. Tank Alpha takes the left, Tank Bravo takes the right. Space both tanks out so there's room in between. Less potential to get both tanks hit by stray explosions. The sustained firepower makes short work of anything put in front of you. A single well-placed shield relay can also cover both tanks in this formation. And either tactic, when a Vox engine or a factory strider appears, both tanks lock on. That is 7,000 damage per volley. Nothing survives that. You take out the threat before it can even fight back. Finally, let's talk about using the battlefield to our advantage. In the field, the terrain itself is another piece of your armor. Let's take Cyberstan as an example. Streets are wide, but buildings are massive. If you sit in the middle of an intersection, you're taking fire from 360 degrees. There's no reason to be there. Pay attention to your sight and firing lines. They're different things, to be clear. Just because the rest of the crew can see a target doesn't mean that the gunner has a shot. Be deliberate about your positioning and understand that you're often better suited to wait for that patrol to come around the corner than to drive headfirst into a potential rocket salvo. If you've cleared a street and know that there are hostiles on the next block over, don't drive out in front of them. Common sense and cover go a long way. So, is the Bastion worth using when we return to Cyberstan? Not a doubt in my mind. And let me be clear, whether you're cracking bot bunkers, holding off a Terminate swarm, or breaking an Illuminate offensive, these doctrines, the driving, the crew discipline, the Iron Phalanx, apply on every single front. The Bastion is the answer to anything that our enemies will throw at us. It has the firepower of a destroyer, but the turner radius of one too. If you treat it like it's invulnerable, then you're choosing to have a wasted stratagem slot for the next 13 minutes. But if you crew up or form the phalanx properly, you are the hammer that breaks their line. Drop a comment below of what's worked best for you and what you're looking forward to trying with your crew. And if you need to know how to survive on foot when the armor finally cracks, pull up my doctrine on the chainsword right here. Now crew up, get in, and get practiced. We need you down there using this tank properly against the enemies of freedom, not complaining that it gets taken out by only a few dozen heat missiles. Sprockets out.